Hi there, my friends call me Jules, and I want to thank you so much for joining me on the Jules4Jesus podcast, where we talk real-life Christianity. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to pause for a moment and say, wow, this whole podcasting journey has been such an incredible blessing. Every single one of you who takes the time to listen, you've made this space so special for me. To my growing circle of friends in the US and the UK, thank you. And new listeners tuning in from Australia, Slovakia, Azerbaijan, Singapore, India, and the Netherlands, welcome. No matter where you are in this world, you already feel like my friends. And then, of course, to my fellow podcasters, thank you for your support. I see you, I hear your voices, and I'm so grateful to share this space with you. And I want to give a special shout out to Jeffro and Griffin from Walk Like a Mailman in the US. Your show is such a joy. If you've had a stressful day and need cozy conversation with humor and real-life stories and even some quirk, yes, I'm still laughing about that limited edition Krispy Kreme Crocs. Go and give them a listen. What I admire most is how you genuinely care for the people you serve, putting their well-being above the system. And that's such a powerful reminder of what really matters. And then there's Adi Hallett from the UK, host of Off the Bat podcast. Adi, I love how you explore such a variety of topics, from the Beatles to picking brambles with your son to make jam. And the other day, after a hectic day of rushing between office and school runs at home, I listened to you describing the sun on your back while picking brambles with your son. And you know what? I could feel that sunshine through the speakers. It was such a gift to slow down at that moment. If you want that, then click play on the Off the Bat podcast on the Podbean app. And of course, last but not least, a special hello to Olise Udogwu in Nigeria. I'm truly honored and blessed that you are sharing my voice with youth through Youthful Praise Radio. So to every young person listening in Nigeria right now, hear me when I say this. You matter deeply to God. Your voice matters. Your future matters. The choices you make today to stand for truth and walk with Jesus will shape not only your life, but the lives of others around you. I'm so excited for that. You are not too young to make an eternal impact. So keep standing strong, keep shining, keep tuning in, and know that you are part of something much bigger than you can even see right now. And on that high and positive note, let's get started. You know those social media quizzes that ask, what animal are you? The ones where everyone hopes for lion or dove or eagle, powerful, peaceful, majestic. Let's be honest. No one's clicking start hoping to get a donkey. But what if, just maybe, the animal that reflects your calling or purpose best isn't one of the glamorous ones at all? What if it's the humble, overlooked donkey? The one with a cross-shaped marking on its back? See, we live in a world that constantly pushes us to be impressive, shiny, and admired. But what if your purpose doesn't come with applause or a spotlight? What if it looks more like this? Waking up exhausted, pulling yesterday's courage over your shoulders like a rumpled old coat, and choosing again to show up anyway. Maybe you are the one holding everything together while no one thanks you. Maybe you're whispering prayers over packed lunches or behind a school desk. Tears slipping down your cheeks unseen. Maybe you're the one forgiving quietly, rebuilding your life in the shadows, carrying weight no one else understands, while putting on a brave face for the world. If that's you, this episode is for you, because we're going to talk about the Jerusalem donkey today. And when we are done, I can almost guarantee you that you will feel more special, seen, cared for, and that you'll know that you have a purpose, even when your life seems without impact and full of hardship. You're listening to the Jules4Jesus podcast. I'm Jules, and this space is all about bringing faith into the challenges and beauty of real life. Whether you're walking through heartbreak, financial stress, rejection, or if you're feeling lost, I want you to know that you're not alone. I've been there too. This podcast is about honest conversations, real encouragement, and creating a community that seeks God together. My hope is that through my story, Jesus touches yours. So let's pause. Let's invite Jesus into this moment and take the next step forward together. This is Jules. Welcome to a safe space where you can come as you are, where you will not be judged, and where you and I can breathe, believe, and walk with Jesus. Okay, let's get into it. In Mark 11 in the Bible, Jesus is just about to enter Jerusalem. The moment is sacred. It's the beginning of his journey to the cross. But instead of a war horse or a chariot, he sends his disciples with this simple task. Go to the village ahead of you. You'll find a colt. By the way, a colt is a young male donkey. You'll find a colt tied there, one no one has ever ridden. Untie it and bring it to me. And if anyone asks, tell them the Lord needs it. And sure enough, they find it. Young, untested, unseen, and perhaps even a bit irrelevant, standing on the side of the road, tied up. And then they bring it to Jesus. And Jesus, King of Kings, rides into Jerusalem on the back of that young donkey. Not a stallion, not a showpiece, a donkey. Chosen for what it represented: humility, service, peace. So what made a donkey so remarkable that Jesus chose it to ride into Jerusalem on the back of a donkey? As I read more about donkeys, I discovered details that made me understand and love the story even more. Many donkeys, including Jerusalem donkeys, carry a literal cross on their backs. It's a line down the spine, another across the shoulders. Each cross is unique. No two are alike. Even if the fur is shaved off, the cross remains imprinted on the skin, faded with age, but never gone. Isn't that powerful? Ordinary animals, often dismissed as stubborn or plain, quietly carrying the mark of Jesus, whether the world sees it or not. Donkeys are known for loyalty and steady strength. They are hardworking, not flashy. They won't tolerate foolishness, though. They're cautious, but when they trust, they'll walk with you anywhere. Did you know that in Australia, wild donkeys were once seen as pests? But historians later discovered that the routes those donkeys carved as they were roaming around became the first roads of towns. Isn't that something? What looked like wandering and roaming was actually just laying down routes for generations to follow. And doesn't that speak to us? To the faithful ones? The unseen ones? The ones quietly and faithfully carving roads of service, setting tracks for the people who will come behind? The donkey Jesus rode into Jerusalem didn't just carry him. It carried the message. Humility matters. Serving matters. The road you walk matters, because your steps may be paving the way for someone else. My friend, whether you've walked with God for years or if you're just exploring faith, this truth is for you. Your worth isn't in how shiny, impressive, or put together you look. It's in your faithfulness. It's in your willingness to show up. It's in your courage to carry weight with humility. That donkey was untied for a purpose. It bore its own unique cross on its back. It was ordinary, maybe even overlooked, but it was chosen anyway. And then, once it had fulfilled its purpose, Jesus sent it back home, still marked by the sacred journey it had carried. Isn't that us? untied to venture into the unknown for a purpose, carrying out different crosses or hardships daily, sometimes unsure but chosen anyway, sent out into ordinary life, still carrying His imprint wherever we go. So here's the truth. Jesus chooses donkeys, not stallions, not celebs, not the glamorous or the shiny. He chooses the faithful, the steady, the humble, the ones marked by the cross. And maybe that's the reminder that we all need today. To stop chasing the glamorous, the applause, or those big lion moments, and instead to see ourselves in the light of that donkey. Ordinary, overlooked, yet chosen for something sacred. So, my friend, if you're walking a road today that feels hidden or unimportant, hear this. Your road matters. The path you are carving may be the one someone else will follow. Every small, unseen step of faithfulness carries eternal weight. So what does that actually look like for you and me on a daily basis? It looks like this. It looks like smiling at someone who feels invisible. It looks like taking a minute to talk to the person who collects the trash at your office, reminding them they aren't just a cleaner, but someone with a truly important job, similar to that of a healthcare worker, keeping us all healthy. It looks like sending a simple text to someone, "Hey, I'm thinking about you." It looks like helping an elderly neighbor carry groceries or giving a genuine compliment that lifts a heavy heart. These may seem ordinary, but they are holy. They are small steps of service that reflect the humility of a donkey and the character of Jesus. And those little acts, they can change everything. You may feel ordinary. You may feel overlooked. But I promise you that you have an important purpose here on earth. That smile, that word of encouragement, that moment you took to acknowledge someone's worth, it may just change a life. And even if it changes only one life, that's precious beyond measure. And here's the beautiful part. When you do these small acts on the days you feel at your worst, when you're tired, stressed, frustrated, or just worn down, something shifts. Not only do you bless someone else, but you also lighten your own load. I can tell you this from experience. It lifts your spirits too. So, my friend, maybe, just maybe, the most purposeful and Christ-like thing you and I can be is not a soaring eagle or a roaring lion, but a steady, cross-marked donkey. Because in the end, it's not about how impressive we look, but about who we carry with us along the way. We've come to the end of our episode, and I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me on Jules4Jesus. I truly hope that today's episode reminded you that even in the ordinary, even when you feel unseen, your life holds eternal weight when it reflects the character of Jesus. And maybe, if you forgot, let me be the one to remind you that Jesus sees you, Jesus loves you, and you have been created for a specific purpose. Even when life feels messy or uncertain, know this: God is always at work, shaping something meaningful and good out of every single moment. If this episode spoke to you, please don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend, with a co-worker, or even on your socials. You never know who might need this reminder today. And you could be the one who helps them see that God chooses ordinary people just like you and me for extraordinary purposes. So until next time, take good care of yourself. Keep seeking God in the little things and trust that He's got a purpose for your journey. This is Jules. You are not overlooked. You are not alone. And I can't wait for us to get to know each other even better when you hit play on the next episode.